GB Gaming.
Oh god. If there were any games I tried to avoid reviewing when I was making Classics Review, then this is definitely one of them. I'm not going to deliberately find problems with this one, but I feel that since I referenced it briefly in my Heart of Darkness review, I felt compelled to go back and try this game again. And again, I'm not finding issues. I genuinely do not like this game for a number of reasons. Oh god. This is Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle for the Sega Mega Drive. I first discovered this game when I was only 6 years old near Christmas time, where I was a cheeky little shit and found it sitting in Mummy's wardrobe alongside other games and unwrapped Christmas presents. At the time I was asked to pick between this or Hard Driving. I kinda wish I picked Hard Driving despite how god awful that game ended up being down the line, but let's commence the review. It was developed by Sega's AM7 team, directed by Hirokazu Yasuhara, who was involved in many of the 16-bit Sonic games, and Yuji Naka, who was the lead programmer for the original Sonic trilogy, among an absolute ton of other games, including this one. It was released exclusively for the Mega Drive in 1989 in Japan and North America, and 1990 in Europe. Should have feckin' stayed out of Europe, away from me. Anyway, it's a typical side-scrolling platform game that I'm going to put down now as a poor man's Super Mario. I'm sorry, but unless you've never played Super Mario, how could you possibly like this game? Let's continue. This would be the 5th game in the Alex Kidd series and the only one to be released on a 16-bit platform. The aim of the game is to navigate through 11 stages, attacking enemies, avoiding obstacles, and using gold coins to buy various items and perks to help you through the game. Some of these items can be earned by playing a game of yankin. What is yankin? Why, it's rock, paper, scissors, of course. After all, the game is set on the planet Paper Rock. No, I'm dead serious, that's the name of the planet Alex Kidd goes to. Story-wise, it follows on from the events of the very first game, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, and Alex's quest to return to the aforementioned planet Paper Rock in order to search for his long-lost daddy, King Thor. Once I took control of Alex, this is where I found my first problem. Why does he slide around so much? I'm all for timing your jumps on platformers, but why did they have to make Alex Kidd slide around this place like he's on an ice rink? This really frustrated me to no end, as I could rarely ever land a jump in the areas I wanted to. Was this deliberate? Did the developers intend on this mechanic? Was it in prior installments? I don't know, but if it wasn't, then this was not a good idea, Naka. I have many other issues, but this, and one other mechanic, really bothered me to the point of frustration that I kept getting discouraged from playing past level 3. But the other problem I had was its hit detection. In past reviews you wouldn't catch me referencing this type of issue, but that's because the games I played and reviewed mostly had good to decent hit detection, whereas this is abysmal. He has the biggest punching fist ever, but it goes barely beyond his ugly mug to hit anything, and once you mess up, you're off floating. Get ready to see that pathetic ghost a lot, because I was acquainted many a time playing this game. In Super Mario, yes, you can die from one hit from an enemy, but you had a very high chance of getting a mushroom power-up, so dying in one hit was at least something you could semi-permanently avoid. And in Sonic the Hedgehog, you could only die from an enemy if you had 0 rings, which can be also a rare occurrence if you're at least half decent at the thing. In this game, nope. If an enemy touches you, then float away. Deed. Away you go, you're shite. The levels are also not that much to look at. Aside from generic backdrops, the only thing that could resemble a platform is the blocks you see in every level. Blue blocks can be broken and red blocks cannot. And what's with the names of some of these levels, seriously, they are as boring as the levels themselves. Take a look. Rookie Town, Prairie, Splashy Sea, Scorpion Desert, Pyramid, Hi-Ho Forest, In the Sky. Oh, sweet mother of Christ. That light bulb above your heads must have burst a dozen fucking times. And of course, there's an underwater level, because that's what every bloody side-scrolling platformer needs, is an underwater level. Nobody fucking likes these levels, so why are they included? I'll tell you why. To piss the player off when they have the slightest bit of momentum going, which by the time you pick this game up, you probably won't even know where the momentum starts and ends, because there isn't any momentum. It's an unfair, clunky mess. Ooh, I need to calm down, so I'm going to talk very calmly for the next 3 or 4 minutes, or even less. If you wanted to make the game a tad bit easier on yourself, you can at least win or buy various different items and abilities. So let's take a look at them. You can get a power bracelet, which is a good replacement for that weak ass punch, since it can fire projectiles. You can get a motorcycle, which is handy if you want to get through the levels as quickly as possible, and you can also run over enemies, killing them instantly. You can also fly a pedicopter. It's a helicopter with pedals, get it? Pedal, pedicopter, helicopter. It's a play on words. I never got much use out of it as it's super sensitive. Touch anything and you crash. How fun. You can get a pogo stick, which is good for reaching high platforms or items. A cane that allows you to float around the place. A cape, which gives you temporary invincibility, and then there's the token, which is used to read opponents' minds. In short, while these items are all good, you're not going to get much use out of them if you're not a god at this game, because once you die, and correct me if I'm wrong, your item disappears, and you would have wasted your time with it. So don't get too attached to it! The enemies are boring and uninspired. I mean, for God's sake, your first enemy is a little car. A wee car. Other enemies include hedgehogs, a hawk that can't flap his wings right, mummies, mice that think they're spiders, scorpions, old men, these things. What the hell are these? And are those nutcrackers? Flying, spinning turtles? Oh sweet Christ, is that a dung beetle? A dung beetle is an obstacle? What? What the hell were these developers talking at? As I said earlier, I'm not trying to look for problems in order to blindly justify not liking this game. I genuinely thought that at an older age I would come to appreciate it more, but I just can't. It doesn't grab me. The rock, paper, scissors minigame isn't even fun. Every result is completely random. At the beginning of the game, once you reach the first of these minigames, if you fail, just start the game again until you win. That is not fun. It's cheap. In fact, this game sits with a 47.5% score from Game Rankings. IGN gave it a 4.5 out of 10, saying the game had floaty play control and that the rock, paper, scissors minigame wasn't fun at all. They also said that they understood why Sega dropped Alex Kidd. Originally, I thought it was due to them needing a fresh mascot to rival that of Super Mario over on Nintendo. And to be brutally honest, I don't blame them if that's the case. I mean, how the hell could Alex Kidd rival that? He had no chance. Forget about it, Sega, just let him die. Other outlets scored the game pretty low, actually. Huh. Why did I think this game was held to high regard? The previous game scored high. Maybe Alex Kidd didn't fit in the 16-bit era. That's kinda sad, to be honest. Alex Kidd was left in Sonic the Hedgehog's dust, so to speak, and he hasn't came back since. There were only 6 Alex Kidd games, and the worst one was on the newest platform, and that was the only one I ever played. I feel dirty, and I don't feel like covering this game anymore. I think I've covered enough, and I think you get the hint. Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle is a boring, tedious, monotonous, woeful excuse of a game, so bad that the next installment never even came to the Mega Drive. Nah, Alex Kidd in Shinobi World came out after this disaster and was released exclusively on the Master System. And guess what? It's widely regarded as the best Alex Kidd game. Go figure. And on that note, I'm taking a leave of absence to reevaluate ways to erase this game from my memory, which is going to be hard considering I still have the copy I originally got in 1995. Thanks, Mum and Dad. So I see it every time I go through my Mega Drive games. But let's get mature here for a bit. I appreciate the attempt Sega made to bring this to a generation that was already shrouded by Mario and Sonic at the time, but Alex Kidd just wasn't welcome in the 16-bit era, so it was probably best for him to go out on a high and stick to what he was good on. And from the looks of it, Alex Kidd in Shinobi World looks like a cracking improvement and one I might try out in future if I ever get a chance. Enchanted Castle was probably the worst way to start out on this series. I never liked it, and I still can't bring myself to find enjoyment out of it today, and it looks like I'm not alone. So that was my very colourful review of Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I actually did covering it. It felt good to slag a bad game for once instead of praising all the good ones that I've reviewed in the past. So with that said, thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, you can subscribe if you wish. There is zero pressure, I do these videos purely out of enjoyment, and I'm happy to get so much as a view in return. This has been Gamerboy talking to you on GB Gaming, where video games come first. Have a good one, and I'll see you on the next video.